Okay, let me check if I've gone live. Okay, I can finally see myself. I had some issues connecting before. So, good evening, everyone. I think I've already wasted 4 minutes. So, let's get started. Good evening and welcome to the weekend sessions with FeviCreate and welcome to the FeviCreate TV. So today we are going to travel to the state of Andhra Pradesh and taking a little inspiration from that state, we are going to make the heritage lamp here. Okay, so before we get to the final making of it, let's go through the materials that you require for the making of our heritage lamp. Okay, I'll just adjust the screen. Okay, so let's get started. So first we require is the balloon. Okay, this is the balloon that I have. Then we will want some tissue papers, a lot of it. Then Fevicol A+, a marker or a felt pen, whatever that you have at home, and a screwdriver. This will come handy later. I'll let you know why. A bulb, a spare bulb if you have that at home. Then the wire which has something like this in the front so that you can put the bulb in it. And the 2-pin plug. Okay, I will show you how to fix the wire into the 2-pin plug in the end. Scissors, brushes. I will keep them all aside. Thread, if you don't have this, it's completely alright. This is not a mandatory thing, but I've just taken it for a Rangila Tempera colors, design sheet, pencil, and yeah, let's get started. I have another balloon. So first we have to blow the balloon. So should I clear out the space? I think yeah, to look a little more neater. So I'll take my balloon. I'll just blow it up first. Ah, sorry, the balloon just fell. I've taken it to this size so that it fits in the screen. I've made a knot. So this is the balloon that I require. Our next step is to take the bowl. I will be generous here with the Fevicol A+. I'll just show the little bits and pieces of the steps that you require. I'm not gonna complete this step because it's a little bit tedious. And then I will pour some water. So I have some water here. I've taken a little too much water. Okay. Then I'll take my brush. I will mix this. So we have to take equal amount of Fevicol A+ and water. You can make the solution watery or a little thick consistency if you want. I think it has become a little more thin, so I'll just add a little more Fevicol A+ into it, and then we've created this mixture. Yes, I think this is the right consistency. So let's get started without wasting a lot of time. This is my balloon. So I will start from the upper portion. First I'll apply one layer of Fevicol A+ and water solution, and then I'll take the tissue papers. And can you see the tissue papers? Here, I'll keep all of these things aside. So I'll take the tissue paper, little bits and pieces. just randomly cut out the bits and pieces and place it over the balloon. So you can first make the pieces ready so that it's easier to pick up the pieces. Okay, just like this. It doesn't have to be of a definite size or something. You just need smaller pieces so that we can apply the solution evenly on all the places. So you will see that the balloon and the tissue paper are just looking like they're on the same surface, but this is how you do it. So this is the first layer. Okay, then our second layer is another layer of tissue paper and the Fevicol A+ and water solution. Okay, so this is how a second layer goes. So I'm just showing you how to do the layering, but you have to cover the entire balloon here, or maybe more than half. Okay, more than half, because we have to make the dome of the lamp. And it has to be quite big. It has to have a nice open mouth so that we can put the bulb in later. So okay, I'm putting a third layer as well. So you can just add the layers as per the thickness that you require. Okay, but we cannot make it more thick because if we have the bulb inside, it won't emit a lot of light if you're gonna make it thin. So I would suggest to just put 3 to 4 layers, 4 layers maximum. Okay, then we have attained the required thickness that we want for our lamp. So okay, 3 to 4 layers, and you have to complete it more than half. I am not doing it because it's the same step. I have shown you how to do the layering. So once you do the first layer, then we jump and make the second layer, then the third layer, and then comes the fourth layer if you really want it. If you think until the third layer it's good enough, then it's good to go. If you still want your lamp to be a little more sturdy and a little more thick, then you can add the fourth layer. Okay, so this is the process, and after this dries after quite some time. So this drying time is gonna take a little while. So let's jump to the process where I already have the balloon and the tissue paper that has been already dried. Here. Okay, so I'll just keep this aside before I spill it. So this is how the balloon and the tissue paper layer is going to look like. So you remember I said that we would require a thread. The reason why I suggested having a thread is so that we can just cut it evenly. So what I will do is I will just take the thread as a marker so that I am able to understand how to get the proper line on this uneven surface, because this entire surface is quite uneven and it gets difficult sometimes. You just have one side which is long and one side which is short. So this is just a reference line that you're using so that you can just mark. So I just don't want you to burst it first, because the balloon is not there as a base, and then it's gonna be uneven. You won't know how to mark or how to cut unless you're a pro. I just stand at the knot. This is getting a little bit difficult. Such a thin thread, I'm so sorry. Here, so we are done. I'll just cut off the excess thread. Okay, so now you can see I've just got the base line. I will push it in. Just like this, and then you can have a look from all the sides if it is uneven or no, and then you can just pull a line with the pencil. Okay, so now I will take my pencil and just draw a rough line like this. You know, this helps us to create see, we've come back to the same point that we had started. So this makes things easier. So just remove the thread, okay, and then just darken the area. Let me know if you guys have any questions, because I'm not looking into the screen. Give me a second. Let me know if this is visible. Let me check myself. Okay, is it visible now? Just give me a thumbs up. I'm so sorry. Is it in the frame now? Okay. Okay. So I will just continue. I think you could not see what I showed before. So I have taken the thread, okay, and just wrapped it around this. Before bursting the balloon, you have to wrap this thread, or any thread, you can take any sort of thread, okay, and wrap it around so that you know how you are going to stretch the line. Because if you just remove the balloon and then go on cutting, it would be very uneven and you would not know how to cut it precisely. So what I did is I took a thread, I put it around the balloon, I stretched a line with the pencil and I removed the thread. So you can see I have made this line with the help of the thread. So it's even on all the sides and it won't go up and down. So now I will burst the balloon. Okay, and you could just use a pin or anything. And now I will directly jump into the cutting process. Here. So follow the line that you've drawn. And cut it accordingly. See, now we made a lamp that is even on all the sides. So you know it has taken the proper shape, the proper line. It's even here. And let's get started with the making of the design. So here I have the design sheet. This is my reference design sheet. Okay, so this kind of art is called as the kalamkari art. Today I didn't go much into the informative part of it. So here I am. So referring to this design, we are going to make the kalamkari art. Now the kalamkari art is found in the state of Andhra Pradesh. And it's a beautiful form of art. Again, it's an ancient art. Before I get into the details, I will just give you a brief idea of how to make it. So I'm going to refer to this design and directly trace it just by referring to it. What you can do is you can also take a tracing sheet, okay, the one that you get in the shops, place the tracing sheet below, and then you can just just transfer the design by keeping the tracing sheet and then placing the design over. So you need to draw at least one design sheet for yourself and then you can keep doing that. For today I'm just showing how to make the design, so I'll just draw one or two and show it to you. So I'm just directly going to draw it on the lamp. So first, from the bottom, we have these two lines. So I'm just making the line here. Okay, then we're going to make this flower. If you have any questions, do let me know. Okay. So I'll make the middle portion. So I'm just going to trace this design, and I've also given some information. So Kalamkari art is found in the state of Andhra Pradesh, wherein the name Kalamkari, if you see, Kalam here means the pen, okay, and Kari means the artwork. That is why Kalamkari. Now, Kalamkari is an art form where, they say that you draw with a pen or a pencil and then you paint in it. Now, again, if, when you listen to the term Kari, which means art, you can also hear this term Kari when you go to the shops. Like, there are Karigar shops, meaning when you go to the textile shops or any clothes shop where they do like heavy duty designs and they use a lot of sequins and a lot of textile printing. So you get these Karigar there, okay, and these are professional craftsmen who work with the textile design, and that's how you come to know that these are the everyday used words, and yet we don't pay a lot of attention to it. So yes, Karigari, Karigar. So this literally translates into some kind of art form. And India has a variety of, textile printing, different art forms. And today we have specifically delved into the state of Andhra Pradesh, where they make the Kalamkari designs. And there are two types of design. There are two places which is very famous for the Kalamkari. That is Kalahasti and Machilipatnam. Okay, these are the two important places. And there are other few regions as well, but Kalamkari was specifically born, in these two areas, and then it started emerging. Now these two areas have a different kind of Kalamkari altogether. Though it is termed as Kalamkari from Andhra Pradesh, Kalahasti is another type of Kalamkari, whereas Machilipatnam is another kind of Kalamkari. They have different ways of working with the designs and getting the coloring process done. So the process is a little bit different and the elements that they use is a little bit different. So Kalamkari was initially inspired by the Persian art, like making the flower pattern, the floral pattern, like you can see here we are referring to the floral patterns. Okay, and then eventually when these Karigar, craftsmen, all these people started working, Hindu mythology started getting a lot of attention. And then the characters from the Hindu mythology were introduced in the Kalamkari designs. Now these Kalamkari designers who work behind the scenes, whom we don't even know, are the rural women of Andhra Pradesh, of these two villages, and the craftsmen who work. So it's like an ancestral thing which has been passed down, and Kalamkari is an ancient art form of India. It's like the oldest art form that you can find, and it has been brought down through ages, and it started getting a lot of attention now. Why? Because Kalamkari art form uses natural dyes that is derived directly from the vegetables, and the pigments or the colors are taken from other plants like indigo and the yellow color. So they have specific colors, like they won't have those multicolors. They have very limited colors. They're limited to red, yellow, green, blue, because we get blue from indigo. So they have very limited set of colors that they use for making or coloring all these designs. And we're almost done. So I will tell you why the Kalamkari from Kalahasti and Machilipatnam is different. Because the Kalahasti Kalamkari, those people, they directly draw freehand. Like the one that we are doing at the moment, they just draw freehand and then get into the coloring process. They draw freehand and they take the black color, they make an outline and then they color on it. Whereas in Machilipatnam, they have block prints. So they make their own designs on the block prints, take the block print, get it printed on it, and then they start painting. So that's the difference between these two villages from Andhra Pradesh. So though this art form is from Andhra Pradesh, yet they have a variety. And so next time if you are going to visit Andhra Pradesh and they just say kalamkari, you need to ask them like which kind of kalamkari, where is this kalamkari from? Is it from Kalahasti? Is it from Machilipatnam or where? So when you have all these information, it is really fun to travel, and you get to know a lot of things. You might even meet the karigar, the women and all who make all these designs, and you can actually visit their workshop and get your hands dirty working with them. So I have almost made this design here. I will show you how it looks once the entire design has been transferred on this entire base of the tissue paper. So here you see how beautiful it looks. I have defined it more with the pencil. Okay, so it looks really very beautiful just by this. So by adding colors to it, we will make it look even more beautiful. So let me just get ready for the coloring process. I'm going to use Rangila Tempera colors. So they said that they use the color yellow. So yellow is the brightest of all. Yellow is that one vibrant color that they use in the kalamkari designs. So let's get started with yellow. Again, I'm just going to paint only one portion, just one part, so that it's easier to understand. And you can just we can draw anything. Is this okay? Yes, you can totally draw anything. You can draw anything of your choice. The reason why we've taken kalamkari over here is so that you know that there are some different art forms in India, and India is rich in culture and heritage, yet we are trying to give you information of all these art forms, because there are times where some of the art forms, some of the colors are just dwindling away. So this is like creating an awareness of an art form, so that even the kids are informed of what this kind of art form is and how rich is India in culture and traditions and all those small things, because it's good to let children know how rich India is, and kids are not roaming anywhere, people are not going out anywhere. So it's like having a virtual tour along with making some art and getting to know a little bit about the place. So yes, you can just do any designs of your kind. It will still look beautiful. I'm sure it will look beautiful. So I'll just color yellow. Just paste this. Yellow on the inner side as well. So if you're specifically following the kalamkari designs, like I said, they use 4 prominent colors, that is the red, yellow, green and blue. So you can stick by those 4 colors as well and paint them. We have these colors in the Rangila Tempera colors range, and feel free to do anything that you want. You are never restrained from not doing a certain thing. Doing something different is always being creative. So there's no problem in doing whatever that you want to do. So here I've almost completed putting the yellow color, and yeah, we are done. So it is good that we get to know about different art forms of India. There are so many different art forms, right from the north to the south. Every state has their own kind of beauty, and we usually neglect all of these things when we go to different places, and this is like giving out information of how beautiful everything is, and it is our duty to restore all of these art forms before they dwindle. As you can see, we are literally developing. Okay, and when the point of developing come, everything turns into a machine made, or we give the work to the machine, and the handmade art form is slowly dwindling, because if people don't pay a lot of attention to it, obviously it's going, like, everything is driven by money. And if they don't source any money by making this, they're surely going to stop making that art, and we don't want that to happen. Like, we want that art form to be continued, and it has to be passed down from generation to generation. And it's good that we are making the children aware about it. Yes, it is totally all right to teach some other folk pattern. It's okay. You can look at the kalamkari designs. You can just make lotuses, because lotus is the famous motif that you will find in the kalamkari design. So you can just use pink, and you can use yellow, and these two color combinations will also look good. So you can just pick a simple lotus design, just make the design. Yeah, you can use simple art forms as well. You're not restrained from making any difficult motifs. If the parent is helping the child with making the designs, even that is all right. Like, the entire family is sitting and creating designs, so it's completely okay. So you can just intricately fill in the colors into all of these flower motifs. If you want, you can just use water to make the color a little more thin in consistency. Yeah, and we'll just keep it for drying then. So I'll just show here. I'm going to use red. Yeah, looks beautiful. Thank you. I can see someone who's written super. It's all about the design that you use and the kind of beautiful motifs that you start making. And eventually it looks beautiful. It's fun to run through all of these small things. This entire heritage lamp looks beautiful. The reason why it's named as heritage lamp, again, because it's the kalamkari art that we're using here, and it totally reflects the art form of India. And this becomes a really wonderful decor if you're going to hang this somewhere in your house, or somewhere at your entrance or the balcony. People would not even know that you've made it, until you have to brag about it, and I'm the one who made it. Look how beautiful it looks. You can even write your names, make it look even more quirky. Wow. Give me some of the ideas that you have, like, what else would you draw? If I'm giving you the theme of heritage lamp, now here I've made the kalamkari. So what would you introduce, or what would you put as an element on this heritage lamp, like, to make it look like, something that suits your house and also reflects the Indian heritage? I would want to know what you guys are thinking. Okay, so I'll jump into the last part of coloring the beautiful flower here, and I'm gonna color it with the blue color. I'll shut this on, otherwise it may spill. So I'm going to use the blue from the Rangila Tempera colors. It reflects the indigo color, which is naturally derived. So here I will paint all of these beautiful petals. Oh, Warli art is beautiful. Warli art is really beautiful. It comes from Maharashtra, and it has, even though they use just two colors, but it looks very beautiful. Like, I usually have seen people wearing bags made out of Warli art. You can see all of those handbags having Warli art. Really looks beautiful. Use the earthen color and the white color. I'm sure it's gonna look beautiful. Nice. So this is the last part. These petals are almost done. So we are going to use the black outline later because these are not natural dyes. So if we have to use the black color on the base, it might spread because we are using the wet paint, right? So first we're going to paint and then we are going to use a layer of, just going to outline it with the black color. Okay, so here I'm going to put the fluorescent pink that we have in the Rangila Tempera colors. Keep this aside and quickly paint it with the pink. Wow, this pink is just amazing. It just gave a lot of brightness, a good contrast when it is placed in front of blue. Wow. So it's okay if you're going out of the lines. You can always cover it up using the, the outline that you're going to use. So you can just randomly make it and see to it that you're at least a little bit inside the lines. And for the upper portion, I'm going to use green, the leaf. Here. I'll paint this leaf green in color. And I think green and blue will look good. So I'm just gonna outline this portion with the blue color, the indigo color, as for the kalamkaria. Shut this here. These colors can be used by kids because these colors are totally non-toxic. So it's completely fine if the kids are using this color. It's completely kid safe. That's why I just love working with these colors. Makes it easier for the parents as well to not worry. If at all they have to taste the color or anything. But I usually don't advise tasting it, but just in case. So here I have painted one portion. Okay, now I'll just let it dry. I'll bring in the one that I have painted before, which has been dried completely. You're going to be awestruck when you look at it because it's looking amazingly beautiful. Here. You see how beautiful it looks? So I've covered the entire ball with the color. I'm not colored it on the inner side. This is how it looks. So here it looks really very pretty. And my next step is to take the felt pen, that is the black sketch pen as you call it, and just trace. Okay, I'll just trace the designs which I have drawn underneath. I think I can use the marker here because the felt pen gets a little bit thin here. I've got a nice bold thick black outline. So I'm using a thicker pen which has like a thick nib and just filling it in. So the intricate details can be done with a thinner pen. See, I'm gonna make these. So even if you miss out on any colors or you've come out, it's okay. You can always cover it up with this black outline that we usually use for drawing. So slowly and gradually just do it. Take your own time. Wow. I think everybody is obsessed with the Warli art. Yeah, it's really pretty. The usage of just two colors and all those elements is really wonderful. Maybe we should take something in Warli art next time. Let's see. I have a question. Fevicryl workshop, can we use Rangila colors? I have no clue about it. I don't know. about the Fevicryl workshop. Maybe the Fevicryl team will answer you about that. Never mind. So you just do this process slowly and gradually. Make it neatly. You can use a thicker pen or a thinner felt pen. It's like, when we are doing the elements over here, I will use a thinner pen. The pen which has a thin nib. These details. So I would not be using the fat tip over here. A thin tip. And it makes everything look beautiful. Just one black border and everything is popped up. You see? Done. So I will just end at it because I want to show how to do the wiring part of it, because it's a little tricky. So when the wiring part comes in, here is my heritage lamp. Okay, for the wiring part I am using a screwdriver. Okay, I have made a hole on top. I hope you will get the step. Next is to take the wire that you have, and this part, one side is always empty so that you can just put in through the hole. So I will insert one wire at a time. You need to make the hole a little more bigger. If it's a little big, then it's easy to put the wire into it. Because if I insert two wires, I think I'll make the hole a little more bigger. So I'll use the brush and let it pass through. Yeah, it's quite big now. So I can just insert two wires. So the wire has come from top here. I will pull the wire. Now the length of the wire depends on how long or short you want it to be. Okay, so I will not put the bulb now. I will show you how we are going to use the 2-pin plug. So kids will obviously have to take help of their parents. So with the screwdriver, I'm gonna open it, and this portion opens right here. Okay, there is another visor that falls from the back side. Here's the screw and these two wires. So you need to open this. Okay, here these are the two screws. You need to remove it out. I'll take you through this process pretty slowly. Okay, and this wire, both of these wires need to have like enough of these copper wire coming out. Okay, so you can see I have good enough wires here. So these 2-pin plugs have chotusa holes. So you just insert it inside the holes. I don't know if you can see, but I will insert a red one here. Okay, then take this screw and put it over it, and with the screwdriver I will just tighten this part. Okay, this is ready. Then for the black wire, again I will insert the copper portion into that hole there, place the screw on top and tighten it. So we've inserted both the copper wire into the screws. Place it on this portion, and the wire has to be coming out from here. Then we place this on top. You need to hold this so that the screw doesn't fall off, and also adjust the wire. Then I will just put that visor there and tighten this. So we are ready. I hope this works. So here we have this portion here, and I'll just put in the bulb. So this is the way that you put the bulb. Okay, and I'll just try to plug it in and see if it's working for real. Oh yes, it's working. You see? Can you switch off the light? So this is how it's gonna reflect once you're done making. So it's really gonna look beautiful. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. So this is how we make the heritage lamp. I'm sure it looks beautiful. Yeah, even I was mesmerized looking at it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this session on making the heritage lamp with me. It was a really beautiful session where I'm giving you information about the kalamkari art and how you can incorporate it in your everyday life, and also get a little bit of information about the art forms of India. And it is better to know more about our country and get a lot of information about our country, because we are proud of who we are as Indians. So thank you for watching it and doing it along with me, and please make this and flaunt the Indian art form to everyone. Make these beautiful lamps, tag us on FeviCreate, be it on Instagram, Facebook. You can even upload it on our website, that is www.fevicreate.com. So this is me, Denisia, signing off. Bye bye.